everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 179. Andrew Eisen here. You are there. So, happy, I almost said New Year's, but it's Leap Year's Day. Happy Leap Year Day. Only happens once every 4 years, so hope you're having a happy one. And if you're not, well, you don't have to worry about another one for several years, so no worries. Okay, so we gotta talk about Monster Hunter. We have to. There's nothing else in the world going on right now that is more important than this video game. So we're gonna talk about it. Oh yes. Yes, we are. So, Monster Hunter is good. That is an objective fact that I have laid out for you. Now, there are some people who don't enjoy Monster Hunter. They are wrong. So, if you're not aware, Monster Hunter is a series of video games from Capcom in which you, the player, hunt monsters. There are monsters, you hunt them, that's the game. So, there are big, scaly dragon monsters, some of them have fur, and you go and you hit them with a stick until they die, and then you carve up their bits, and you use their bits to make better weapons and armor so that you can fight bigger, badder monsters. And then you carve them up and make even better weapons and armor to fight even bigger, badder monsters. It's a fun game. If you can get over the hump of the first several hours, it's the barrier of entry is thick, especially for the games prior to Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World, to Capcom's credit, did a much better job, still room for improvement, but did a much better job at being accommodating to new players. So, yay. Surprising no one, there is a Monster Hunter movie on the horizon. It is directed by Paul Anderson, the Paul Anderson that directed such wonderful films as Resident Evil, and Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3, and Resident Evil 4, and Resident Evil 5, and Resident Evil 6, and some other movies. Actually, they weren't actually called Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They were called Resident Evil Apocalypse, Resident Evil Extinction, Resident Evil something else. So, I don't know what order they're going in. I saw the first Resident Evil movie in the theater! And I walked out of the theater thinking it was not very good. Not terrible, not horrible, but not good. And I didn't bother going back to the theater to see Resident Evil 2 or whatever the subtitle of that movie was. I did actually end up catching at least half of the movie on TV or something in subsequent years, and it was mind-numbingly awful. Like, really, really bad. I have not seen any of the others. Maybe they get better. I doubt that. I've heard some of them are watchable. But, well, I'm sure the director and Mia, however you pronounce her name, are having a lot of fun making these movies, so, good on them. If someone gave me lots of money to have fun, I don't think I would feel bad about it, even if people didn't like watching me have said fun. But Paul Anderson's made some... I like the original Mortal Kombat movie. Hi, Warren. You like the second Resident Evil film? Cool. Maybe missing the first half an hour ruined it for me. I don't know. What was I talking about? Oh, I like the first Mortal Kombat film. Is it a great movie? No. But it's a pretty decent Mortal Kombat film, even if it's PG-13 instead of R, like it really should be. It's like, hey, let's take the most identifiable aspect of the property and take it out. Like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, two really popular fighting games. What's the biggest difference between the two? The gore, right? I mean, the insane violence and brutality and gore and blood and goo and guts and stuff. That's the most immediate noticeable difference that everyone understands. That's what everyone thinks about when they think of the Mortal Kombat series in the arcade. Oh, it's that bloody one where you pull people's heads off. Yeah, that one. And they took that aspect of it and said, you know what? Let's not do that for the movie. To me, that would be like making a Jurassic Park movie without dinosaurs. You could, but why? Nevertheless, I still enjoyed the Mortal Kombat movie. The theme song does a lot of heavy lifting. I even enjoy the absolutely wretched Mortal Kombat Annihilation, or whatever the sequel is called. Oh, and that movie is awful, but it is kind of fun. I think he did Event Horizon, which is not good, but it definitely has a lot of strong moments. I think he did Soldier, one with Kurt Russell. I actually enjoy that movie. So I don't hate the man's work, but saying he's directing the Monster Hunter movie, not filling me with a lot of confidence. Also, when you have an IP that is more fantasy-ish and takes place in its own world, you know, like Monster Hunter or He-Man or the Smurfs or Sonic the Hedgehog. The absolute worst, dumbest thing you can do, I know why you do it, it's cheaper to do it this way, but the absolute worst, dumbest thing you can do is say, you know what? Let's just take our characters and plop them into America. Let's take He-Man out of Eternia and put him in America. Let's take the Smurfs out of Smurfville and put them in America. What was the other example I gave? I don't remember. Let's at least Mortal Kombat, that's about Earthrealm and Outworld, and they start in Earthrealm and they go to Outworld, so that's nice. Less dumb is the, oh no, we're from America, or whatever country's making the movie, and we fell through a portal into Magic Fantasy Land. The argument is always, we need the audience insert character. Sure, but it doesn't have to be a literal insert. So, Beastmaster 2, The Eye of Braxis. I like Beastmaster 2. But the whole first Beastmaster was just in Fantasyland, or Fantasy Beast Mastery Land. And the sequel's like, all right, let's take it to America. And, you know, whatever, it was fun. I don't think I ever saw the third one. But Mark Singer, was he even in it? And if not, why would anyone bother? So from what I've heard, the plot of Monster Hunter is Mia, however you pronounce her last name, is a military person, and she falls through a portal into Monster Hunter World. Why are they doing it that way? I don't know. Probably because the monsters are going to come back into our world and they're going to have to fight them. Snake, one of our viewers here on Twitter said, I bet they're going to do that thing where the military becomes the bad guys and tries to kill all the monsters, and Mia and crew have to save the monsters from them. It's possible. What also might happen is, oh no, monsters, nuke the city. No, wait. We can capture them without flattening the city and killing everybody. Just give us a chance. They're just animals, They have a right to survive, even though we killed a bunch earlier. Now, if it's Dodo Gama that falls through the portal and ends up in the real world, then absolutely, yeah, we're gonna have to fight the evil military who wants to kill our beautiful boy Dodo Gama, because Dodo Gama is the cutest monster. So I hope Dodo Gama's in the movie and just follows Mia and friends around like a gigantic, adorable puppy. That's what I want out of Monster Hunter. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in this movie. It's probably going to be crap. Will I see it? I don't know yet. I mean, hopefully it has monsters in it. That would be nice, and maybe those monsters are even hunted at some point. That would be cool. Um so this week Sony released 2 teaser posters for Monster Hunter the movie, and they are among the worst teaser posters I have ever seen in my life. It's like everything you could have possibly done wrong in a teaser poster, they managed to do with these teaser posters. I'll show them to you in a sec, but holy biscuits, even a teaser poster that was just a black poster with the damned logo on it would have been better. Anbury, I'm probably butchering that, pardon me. Have we even seen a monster yet? That is the main draw of the series. No, we have not. Although there was apparently some leaked footage a while ago, I didn't watch it, so I don't know. I imagine the monsters are probably just, the monsters from the game. So the monsters will probably look just fine. Will they be integrated into the live action well? Who knows? What do I want out of a Monster Hunter movie? Just do a damn Monster Hunter story. You know, there's monsters. They're tearing up the place, and 4 people have to band together and work together to save the town. Done. It's that easy. You don't have to do this ridiculous, oh, well, there's this military person on Earth who falls through a portal, and it's... No, you don't need to do that. There's a town. There's a monster. The monster attacks the town. The people go and kill the monster. There's bigger monsters. 4 people with personalities that are fun to hang out with for 90 minutes or 100 minutes or whatever have to work together to fend off even bigger monsters and save the town. This is not hard. It's Monster Hunter. Just do that. Anyway, so here are the posters. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's be very clear here. These are teaser posters. Probably the first thing you're going to notice is these Monster Hunter posters are quite bereft of monster. And that is true. This I do not have a problem with, because it's a teaser poster. The other thing I don't really have a problem with is Mia's greatsword is not very great. That's a stubby little greatsword. That's a trainer greatsword. Am I bothered by the fact that they scaled down the greatsword to something that a human could actually use, at least according to movie physics? No, I'm not bothered by that. It's fine. Although, bone weapons, seriously? Ugh, scrub. So those two things I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem that there's no monster on the poster. I don't have a problem that the great sword is a little dinky for a great sword. It's fine. If you don't know, the great swords in the game are like 7 or 8 feet long. They're bigger than the hunter. Um, they're not. They're very very silly, but that's what makes them fun. I think they could have gone a little bit bigger, but it's fine. Okay, let's start really simple. The logo. That is a boring logo. Monster Hunter. I mean, it's not totally incorrect. Here is the logo for Monster Hunter World. The font is correct. It's the same font, but every game in the series has some type of decoration or sigil or crest or something adorning the logo. It's not just straight text Monster Hunter. See? Here's all the Monster Hunter logos. Look how colorful and vibrant they are. The first several had a dragon perched on the logo, and then they started doing the little crest sigil thing behind it. But not here, not for the teaser poster. No, it's just a very understated Monster Hunter. It's Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter. Yeah. So, we have Mia and Tony Jaa standing there, very like someone just said, "Hey Mia," and she turned around and was like, "What?" No action pose, no. It doesn't even seem like she's like, "Oh my gosh, there's a monster behind me." No, just standing there, not a very interesting pose. There's a lot of negative space in this poster. They don't even go together very well. I mean, Mia and Tony are both in the same exact spot on both posters. You'd think it might even be like you put the posters together and you got a panoramic shot, and no, 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 no. Are they standing anywhere interesting? No. Uh, hey, we're doing a teaser poster for Monster Hunter. What biome should we have them stand in? We've got the forest biome. We've got lava. We've got snow. We've got desert. We've got desert. You want to do desert? Okay, so should we have this really colorful desert with sweeping dunes and craggy spires of rock? Oh, no, no, just flat plain with a lot of scrub brush. Okay, but illuminated by a beautiful sky with the sun. Oh, no, no, just kind of overcast and dull and gray and brown and boring. Oh, and you want to even just add dirt to the poster, just smear dirt on the poster, make it look even more dull and brown. Okay. How about the costumes? How about the armor? That's something that Monster Hunter is known for, is the awesome armor built from pieces of the slain monsters. Oh, no. No, we're just going to put them in very basic, non-distinct, generic fantasy leather with a little bit of chain mail or maybe a little bit of rabbit fur or something. Oh. Oh. Not, you don't even want to do like the leather armor from the game, something recognizable that might call to fans of the franchise. Go, oh hey, those two hunters are starting out because they've got bone weapons and leather armor, but Monster Hunter. No, just put them in really nondescript, boring, generic fantasy armor. Why do anything visually interesting? Do you want to put them in a cool action pose? Like, you know, maybe, uh, you know, Mia, you know, doing a, you know, charging up for a true charge slash, or maybe having just slammed it down with her back feet coming out of the ground because the damn sword's so heavy, or Tony Jaa actually, you know, getting in a real cool bow stance, about to fire it at some unseen. No, just have him stand there. In fact, have Tony Jaa hold his weapon so low that it's not immediately apparent what the hell that is. Looks like he just has a giant bone erection. Yeah, you can't unsee it now. And you're like, oh, I see arrows on his back. Oh, it's a bow. Oh, okay. No, no. Want to do something cool about having them pose like there's a monster, like the poster is the monster's point of view, and they're like, oh crap, like maybe a high angle something. No, no, that would be too interesting. No, just two people standing there bored against a flat, empty plain and a dull, overcast sky smeared with dirt. You don't want to do anything interesting, like maybe have the mouth of a cave or the opening of a forest with Mia and Tony, you know, marching towards it with their weapons drawn, and you only see the vague outline of something giant with glowing yellow eyes or green eyes or red eyes shining from the opening of the cave or the darkness of the forest. Or it no, nothing really, just two people standing there in the corner of a dull, flat, colorless poster. Wow. This is possibly the lamest, crappest, worstest teaser poster for anything ever. I'm sure there are some that beat it, but for right now, I mean, the idea is to tease, right? And the idea of teasing is to whip up some anticipation, get some excitement going. I mean, I don't presume to say that I know marketers' jobs better than they do. But in this case, I think I do. 'Cause, I mean, there are two types of people in this world. People who know what Monster Hunter is, and people who do not know what Monster Hunter is. People who know what Monster Hunter is are going to see this and go, huh. And then may double take and say, oh, it says Monster Hunter in the bottom. Oh, that's Monster Hunter? Okay, that's a stubby little great sword, and that's a bow. Really, you went with the bow? There's like 14 weapons. You went with the bow? I know why you went with greatsword, but you went with bow? I mean, it makes sense you have a melee user and a ranged user, but you sure you didn't want to go with like the light bowgun? Or the heavy bowgun? You went with a bow? Really? Not something outlandish like the switch axe or the charge blade. Not something cool like the bow staff with the giant insect. Forget what it's called. Dual blades. The hammer, hunting horn. Come on, hunting horn. No, you went with the bow. Bow's a fine weapon, don't get me wrong, but if you're only picking two for their visual verve, yeah, you're probably going with greatsword, and you're probably going with not the bow. Just... I was making a big gesture, but you can't really see it. You might have been able to see it on the sides a little bit. I was going like that. So, maybe the movie will be good. I don't know. Crappy teaser posters a bad movie does not make. So I'll be interested to see the regular posters and the trailer, and then maybe the movie. I hope it's good because I like Monster Hunter. Oh, I was saying there are two types of people in the world, so Monster Hunters and not Monster Hunters. So people who are in the Monster Hunter are going to look at that and be kind of ill-impressed, possibly even annoyed. And then the other people who don't know what Monster Hunter is are going to look at those two posters and not be brought in by them because there's nothing there. They're flat and dull and boring and lifeless. Flat, dull, boring, and lifeless are not adjectives I would use to describe Monster Hunter as a property. Maybe the opening hours of some of the earlier games, but not the franchise as a whole. So that's my half an hour rant on a teaser poster. Now I would like to talk about Harley Quinn, specifically the animated series on DC Universe. So last week, Harley Quinn, the animated series in DC Universe, just finished its first season. So I signed up for a free trial of DC Universe. Pardon me. So that I could watch the whole show. DC, the YouTube channel, put the first episode of Harley Quinn on its YouTube channel back in like December or something like that. And I watched it, did a debut review of it, and I quite liked it. I was very interested in watching the rest. Pardon me. So I signed up for a week free trial, which ends tomorrow. Pardon me. Damn it. And managed to watch the entire run of Harley Quinn, the animated series, and I think it is quite great. If you watched my debut review, my notes, as I recall, were some of the swearing kind of comes off as swearing for swearing's sake, rather than just, organic swearing. It comes off as, ooh, we can swear, so we should. Overall, there is some of it. I think most of it is in the first episode. They get their sea legs, so to speak, when it comes to the salty language. Most of it works out just fine. And also, I guess thematically, it kind of plays into Harley trying to be someone she's not at the beginning. Another note of mine was, boy, she breaks up with the Joker real quick. Realistically, that type of abusive relationship would more than likely take more than the day that's portrayed in the first episode to, make a break from an abusive relationship. These are things that are, for most people anyway, very difficult and time-consuming. Well, I was. The entire season is her breaking up with the Joker. So it seems like the first episode. If you just watch the first episode in isolation, it's like, we broke up with the Joker. Now that crap's out of the way, we can move on with the rest of the show. No, the entire season is really about Harley not just breaking up with the Joker, but similar to the movie. Discovering who she is, because she's used to being defined and even defining herself as the Joker's girlfriend. But now that they're not together anymore, who is Harley Quinn? It's a good show. It's very funny. It's very good. I liked it. And they're doing more. I think season 2 is apparently out later this year. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Should I keep the subscription? It's a little pricey. I have other things to spend my money on, like rent and food. So maybe I'll cancel it and just get a month, wait for season 2 to finish and then buy a month of DC Universe and watch the second season and call it that. So, I hope y'all get a chance to see it. It's a really good show. It's charming as hell. It's very funny. Um, so yeah, if you have the chance, give it a watch. Hey, have you heard of this little small publisher? Real indie. I doubt you've heard of them. Tecmo Koei. They do this little no-name fighting series called Dead or Alive. I'm giving them the crap. And they deserve crap because Tecmo Koei in recent years has been really crap with their games and with the way they're selling them. The big hoopla this week is Dead or Alive 6, which has about $2,000 worth of downloadable content. Most all of it being costumes and stuff. Saying there's $2,000 worth of downloadable content is a little misleading. I didn't do the math, but it's probably closer to about $300 or $400. That's still an insane amount of money for a video game. So there are 4 season passes, and the last season pass cost nearly $100. Um, So yeah, you thought that you remember that one train simulator game that's on Steam that has like $4,000 worth of DLC. It's just different tracks and trains and stuff. Yeah, Dead or Alive is like that. They've just got lots of. There are some new characters and stuff, and but gosh darn, you want everything, you're going to be spending hundreds of dollars. And they're neat costumes. Don't get me wrong, but good golly. So recently, not Nintendo, not every company is Nintendo, Andrew. Tecmo Koei. They have new tickets that you can buy for somewhere around $1 a piece, although I don't think you can buy just one. You have to buy them in bundles or something. So these are the currency now. So not only is Tecmo Koei selling costumes for this game, they are selling changes of hair color. So if you want to change one of your character's hair color, that's going to cost you about $1. Yeah, hair color. And to be clear, you're not buying the hair color, you're buying the change. So if your character has pink hair and you're thinking, you know what? I want blue hair. You spend $1 to get blue hair, and then you think, nah, I want gold hair. And you spend another $1 to get gold hair. And then you're thinking, nah, I actually like the blue. Well, you got to drop another $1 to get the blue back because you're not buying the hair color, you're buying the change of hair color. Imagine if all the armor in Monster Hunter was DLC. Imagine you had to buy all of that. Hi, River. Am I hyped for Langrisser 1 and 2 remaster? Even though I can't pronounce it, I do know what that is. No, but it is really cool. So, I never played the originals, wrong platform, but I've heard good things about them. No, just talking about what crapsicle sticks Tecmo Koei are for, you know, gouging gamers for hundreds of dollars worth of DLC and not being even satisfied with that and saying, you know what, you want to change your character's hair color? It's going to cost even more money every time you change your character's hair. Wow, Tecmo Koei. Just, wow. Even EA is looking at you and going, dude, dick move. So, maybe don't do that? It's something you could do. You could not do that. That would be good. Didn't Dead or Alive 5 go free to play? I think I'm remembering that right. I'm sure the game's still fun, but good gravy. I am the type of gamer who, if there's that much DLC, I'm like, I'll either not buy your game or I will wait until you sell the entire game for a reasonable price. Hundreds of dollars of costumes. And again, neat costumes, but damn. So, what else is going on in the world that we want to talk about? DOA core fighters, 5 fighters, the rest are DLC. Oh, gracious. Imagine if Smash Brothers was, just like Final Destination, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Samus, and Link. And the rest of them you had to buy. I always I have to wonder if I were like super wealthy, would that change the kind of guy I am? What would I just be greedy? Like if I were making money with YouTube, for example, like hand over fist, just pulling in millions of dollars, would I hoard it? Would I don't know. I would like to think that if I had lots and lots of money, that I would live well, don't get me wrong, but I'd also endeavor to do good things with it and wouldn't try to take advantage of people. I just, I don't own a business, I don't run a business, so what do I know? But at some point, isn't it enough? I mean, there is a finite amount of money in the world. There will come no matter how successful you are, there will come a point where there's literally no more money to make or no more customers to reach. So there is an upper ceiling. But I mean, I see a bunch of companies where the upper management are all millionaires and pull in just millions and millions of dollars every single year. The company itself pulls in billions in pure profit, and it's like, isn't that enough? I mean, if you made just as much money this year as you did last year, and that amount is like billions, why would anyone ever be unhappy with that? Maybe you just have to be rich to understand. I don't know. I would like to think that if I made, $1 million this year, and then the next year I only made $950,000, I would be totally okay with that. I wouldn't like start firing people who worked for me. I I don't know. If Anbury says if I had that type of money, I would pay the $10,000 for the all the train simulator DLC just to do. Oh yeah, I mean if I had, don't get me wrong, if I had, Bruce Wayne bucks, I would definitely move to a different place. I would have fun with my money. But for anyone who has more money than they could ever possibly even spend, I it's just weird to me that people who have more money than they could possibly spend, it's not enough for them. That's just an odd attitude for me. River says, I think it says something about the type of people that gravitate to the upper levels of corporate cutthroat positions. That's true. So, I mentioned I have DC Universe free trial ends tomorrow. I did debut reviews for Swamp Thing and Doom Patrol. I just released a debut review, so I'll keep those. So you'll see those in the coming weeks sometime. Uh, but I watched Swamp Thing, which I was aware that the show was canceled and there would not be a second season. I was not aware they canceled it in the middle of production and shortened the episode order. Because that show doesn't end, it just stops. And That sucks, especially for people who were a fan of the show. Very soap opera-y, but still a pretty interesting show. Boy, a lot of dangling threads where that show leaves off. Good golly. I wonder why they canceled it. I mean, if it wasn't well received, you, I could understand that, but wonder what happened that made them, cut it in the middle of production and say, you're not going to get to make all 13 episodes or whatever the original episode order was. We're only paying you to do 10 and then you're not doing anymore. Wonder what happened. We'll probably never know. But, it's a shame. It seemed like everyone working, it didn't seem like a cynically produced show. Didn't seem like just a paycheck gig from it for the creatives. It seemed like they were really trying to do something specific, and I mostly liked it. Doom Patrol that was actually greenlit for a second season. I still have like 7 or 8 episodes to watch, and they're an hour long, and I've only gotten to like tomorrow afternoon. So maybe I just won't sleep tonight and I'll just power through it, which is kind of how I've been doing the last week. Oh, I've only got DC Universe for free for a week. Better forego sleep and just watch all the episodes I can. I am tired. And I gotta go to the store because I'm out of toilet paper. That's something you don't want to be out of. I mean, not just because you might have a guest just suddenly show up and say, Andrew, hi, long time no see, I really need to use the bathroom. I'm so sorry, person who just showed up to my door, but if it's number 2, I'm afraid you're going to have to hop in the shower right afterwards to wash off. And then get back into your original clothes. And that's awkward, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So, hey, P-Cross. You know P-Cross? It's one of those little number. It's very similar to Sudoku. It's a grid where you have little number keys on the side of each row, beside each row, and above each column that shows you how many filled-in spaces there are in that row or column. And you use the little codes in the top and bottom to figure out which spaces are filled in and which are not. And when you're done, it makes a little pixelated picture. I like that puzzle game. Nintendo made Pokemon P-Cross years back for the 3DS, and it was free to play. And by free to play, I mean it had a cooldown timer where you could only make so many moves, and then you had to wait until it recharged before you could keep playing. But you could always throw money at it to recharge the cooldown timer so that you could keep playing. Well, I beat that game. I beat it 100% without paying a single damn dime. Ha, Nintendo! Ha! One neat thing about the game is there was an upper limit to how much money you could spend on it. It was like 25, 30, 35 bucks, whatever it was. It was about what a video game costs. And once you spent that much money, you had unlimited gems or whatever the currency was to refill the meter. That's a nice way of doing those free-to-play games. I like that. Good on you, Nintendo. That was cool. I also liked just that was, I think, my introduction to P-Cross, and I really liked it. It's a fun puzzle, and it makes fun little pixel art pictures. They also made one for Legend of Zelda, which I think I got as part of the Club Nintendo freebie thing. And I played that, and that was fun. Well, coming out next week is a game called Murder by Numbers, which is kind of a it looks a bit like Phoenix Wright, that type of text adventure kind of game. Only it's a P-Cross game. So you're this person who plays a detective on TV or something like that and trying to solve a murder. And you go around the crime scene and you solve P-Cross puzzles. And each puzzle ends up being a clue or piece of evidence that I guess you have to show to other people, Phoenix Wright style, to say, haha, you are the killer because this, which was a puzzle I put together earlier. That looks super fun. I'm gonna get that. That looks fun. I like the design of it. I think the aesthetics really working for me. I like the main character and her um, Saved by the Bell colorful shirt. Very cool. Hello, Scrungle. River has P-Cross on the 3DS. Fun game. Yeah, the stream, well, we've got 15 minutes, but I'm out of topics. Send in good vibes so I don't get the coronavirus, COVID-19. I appreciate it. Hasn't, there are some cases in California, but so far they aren't as far south as I am. So, yeah. Hope all you all are safe and healthy wherever all y'all are. I know it's not officially called that yet, but man, global pandemics suck. We already talked about the Monster Hunter movie. Sorry, that's the first thing I talked about, and talked about how crappy these teaser posters are. Kansas, huh? All right. So I have jury duty on Tuesday, March 3rd, which is also voting day. So that's going to be a full day. You know, when I was young, I was not particularly engaged as a voter because I was, small-minded and cynical and didn't care because I was, well, self-centered and didn't really think about the world beyond how anything affected me. But I grew up. So I take voting seriously now. And when I was young and first started voting, I only really voted for the obvious things. The real easy, obvious stuff that was super simple to understand. Um, like in California, this is more recent, but in California, 10 years ago maybe, we had Prop 8 or something. It was essentially some bullshit discriminatory uh, law that did something like made gay marriage illegal or something. I forget what it was, but it was some type of homophobic horseshit. And stuff like that. That has always been really easy. Equal rights kind of stuff. That's easy. Well, obviously that's the right thing to do. We can vote for that. That's easy. What has always stressed me the hell out, and when I was a young voter, I would just ignore a lot of the measures and propositions and some of the down ballot stuff, like city controller, um, especially in the very very early days of the internet, because there was no information on who any of these people were. And it's like, I don't know what the city controller does, and I don't know who these people are. I don't know what the right answer is. You talk about equal rights, I know what the right answer is. You talk about who is the best person for this job that you don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't want to be responsible for picking the wrong person cuz I'm not knowledgeable enough about the job or the people running for it, and I don't, in 1998 era, have really the resources to figure it out because I don't trust the mailers because they're printed by people who are either specifically for them or specifically against them, and that's not really reliable sources. So when I was a young voter, I would skip over a lot of that stuff. Not not so much because it doesn't affect me, what do I care, that kind of stuff, but more because I was shell shocked in I just was scared that I'd do the wrong thing. Especially some of the measures, it's like, well, should we appropriate this money to do this zoning thing? It's like, Jesus, I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what the right answer is. I'm so petrified of making the wrong answer. And I still am. But I still vote for everything just as best I can. Um, I now we have the internet, so you can actually research this stuff, and it's voting is fucking stressful for me because I literally spend a month. You know, you get the mailer like a month early, and I spend every weekend for the entire month leading up to election day researching every person who's running for every position and all the damn measures and propositions so that I know what the hell they are, and I still am utterly petrified that I'm misunderstanding something or am going to learn wrong information and I will make the wrong choice. And people will get hurt because of it. I hate that. So voting is kind of stressful for me. And on top of that, I've got jury duty that day. Fun. So, hey, what have we been talking about? Let's see. 16 in Texas. Oh, the COVID, yeah. One in. We've had a couple up north here in California, and then one a little bit closer to me. So, looks like it's coming in my direction. So we'll see. Uh, make sure avoid public places. California will probably be hit hardest by an epidemic. Well, I mean, we've got a lot of international through centers here, so I mean, I live right next to it. I live fairly close to the San Diego International Airport, so lots of people come to visit sunny San Diego. So, no, I do. Eva, hello. I do not work from home. I do go into the office and work from there. I do. I can work from home. So if there is an outbreak in San Diego, I will be able to sequester myself at home and work from home. Of course, you know, still got to go out and get food from the grocery store. So it's not a foolproof. But yeah, I am fortunate in that my job can actually be done from here. I just need to go into the office and drag a bunch of equipment home. So I could do it if it does come to that. So I'm lucky that that option is available to me. Let's see. I mean, Houston has a River says local elections are more confusing than national ones. Yeah. Generally, I think generally yes, because the national ones just get more exposure. So, I mean, you know who's running for president. That's talked about on the news. There's all kinds of rallies. You probably get emails about it. It's if you're a consumer of what's going on in the world, you're probably aware of who's running for president and who those people and what president is and what the various people running for president who they are and what they stand for. However, things like the city controller, do you know what that is? Do you know what that person does? Do you know what any of the people running for that position are? I have to look it up every time. I keep forgetting. So, but yeah, I mean, especially at this point in time, the national elections are pretty easy. I mean, that one's a no-brainer. But yes, the local stuff is a lot harder because you know there's less information about it. It's not as sexy. It's not as widely known. Um, all politicians are awful, and your vote won't make much difference in the end. Well, I mean, it depends on exactly what you're talking about. If you're talking about the presidential election, then it depends on where you are, because that's the way the presidential election system works. But I wouldn't say all politicians are awful. But even if you think they all are, we can, I would hope, at least agree that there are levels of awfulness. So the way it works is you either vote. I mean, if you're cynical enough, and I understand if you are, not any one of you specifically, one, I mean, you hypothetical you. If you're cynical enough to think that, man, all politicians are just crap, still vote for the least crap of them, because if you don't, we're going to get the worst one. And even if that doesn't affect you, it will hurt someone else. So, see, for me, it's really easy because I have like all the privilege with the exception of wealth, you know? So, even as bad as everything is right now, I am among the absolutely least affected by any. I am the squealy tires and um, that's an ambulance. That's an ambulance siren I'm hearing out there. Um, I am among some of the least affected by the horribleness that goes on. So when I vote, I'm really not thinking about myself because you're right in the sense that, well, it doesn't affect me. Generally, yeah, it doesn't, but it has monumental effects on other people. So that's the way I look at it is I'm not really voting for me because I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. Uh, for the most part, no matter what happens, I will be fine. So I actually do have the luxury of not giving a shit. I personally have that luxury. I could not care. I could stay home and not vote and let the chips fall where they may, and it probably wouldn't affect me. So you might think, well, Jesus, then why do you stress out about it so much? Well, because I care about the people it does affect, even if I don't know them. Just the way I am. So let's see. Well said. I live in Houston, but I live in a small town on the outskirts. We border on country. Small town politics are easy peasy. Okay, easy peasy. I get it. Fight off. I'm going to work in a hazmat suit. Yeah. Let's see. Ammo will be the new currency. Metro 2033 is becoming a reality. Uh, have I seen the Resident Evil 3 remake footage? It looks really good. I have seen the what Capcom has released, and I I don't really like the new design of the Nemesis with his really tall, thin chiclet teeth, um, and his weirdly crooked nose. But other than that, I'm at a distance he looks fine. But you get right up into his face, and it's like, not caring for that redesign, but I am enjoying everything. I really liked Resident Evil 2 remake and 3. It looks good. I'm really quite looking forward to it. Nemesis can drop kick you in Resident Evil 3. Yeah. It's funny. I often go back and forth on which Resident Evil, both zombie things. Resident Evil is for me like the Dead films, the Romero Dead films. Um, I go back and forth depending on which day you ask me is well, which Romero Dead film is your favorite or which Resident Evil is your favorite? You know, it's going to differ depending on which day you ask me. Uh, for me, I night, day, and dawn. Just I cycle between them. It really depends. Um, dawn is usually surprisingly maybe dawn is usually on the bottom of my ranked list, and night and day kind of flop for the number one spot. But sometimes I really dig dawn. Really love all three movies, but yeah. For Resident Evil, 2, 3, and 4, I think are my favorites. Um, love 2, but I really liked 3 also. I just loved how streamlined it was. Um, and 4 is it's just a phenomenal game. So, um, yeah, really looking forward to Resident Evil 3. Um, dee dee dee. Oh yeah, we're talking about COVID-19. I'm hearing an ambulance screech by. Uh-oh. Yeah. The classic outfits are much better. To get Claire in her trademark blue tube top and miniskirt, you have to pre-order. The cargo pants take top is too generic. Um, I don't care for the fact that the original outfit is a pre-order bonus. As long as it's made available some other way, I'm okay with it. Um, Claire's new outfit, I'm okay with. I mean, the skirt and tube top was silly, but iconic. I'm okay with the change. I mean, she's pants in a tank. It's fine. But you're right. I mean, that is kind of obvious. You know, it's like, okay, well, we probably don't want to do the mini skirt and tube top because that's just why is she even wearing that? Just why is she wearing that? Um, but it's like, okay, so let's do something else. Let's do something else. Let's do pants and a shirt. I get what you're saying. I mean, maybe it could have been more invented, but I don't know. We'll see how it plays in the game. Maybe the skirt and tube top will make a cameo in one of the because the game takes place over. If I'm remembering, it takes place slightly before Resident Evil 2, and I think Jill gets knocked out for a couple days or something like that, and then takes place afterwards. So maybe Leon was in street clothes at the very beginning of Resident Evil 2 remake, so it's possible that Jill is in street clothes, skirt and tube top at some point in the game too. That would be a nice way to bring the classic outfit back. We'll see what they do. Bu- 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 dee- 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 dee. Classic outfits were unlockable through play and remake. Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. That's right. I think it was just beat the game, right? Um, and they were really nice upgrades to the old outfits. They also had like a very polygonal outfit, if I remember correctly. That was kind of funny. Let's see. Another thing is apparently a South Korean cult that's been infecting themselves with it to quote give the gift. Oh my, I've not heard of that. I hope that's not true. Uh, just started playing. River says playing Yakuza on the PS2. Weird English dub. Did not expect that. Oh, the local. The yeah. I think 1 and 2 both had really kind of poor English dubs. Um, Also, the PS2 those early games, the PS2 versions, are kind of Resident Evil. At least the first one is. They're kind of Resident Evil-ish with fixed cameras and where you run to the edge of the street, the transition. And I remember the transition into battles where thugs would accost you on the street. I don't know. Maybe it's my poor memory, but it seems to me it's like 20 or 30-second transitions. Oh God, it's an old game. It's a good game, but ooh, it's old. Um, Eva says the noir 1920s gangster alternative outfits were cool. Yeah, I really like those too. Uh, Yakuza is a gift of a game. It's about a scary man who's Yakuza, but most of the storylines revolve of him being just an angry dad. Yeah. Mark Hamill did Majima in the PS2 dub. That's great. Nice. Um, yeah, Kiryu is a character. Hey, a studio that makes Yakuza, Ryoga Gotoku Studio. I think you just named yourself after the game, which is, fine. Um, Yakuza 7, I know it's coming out this year, but when? And Yakuza Ishin and Kensan, bring those too, please. Because if you do, I'll buy them. Because they're good, and I want to play them. So, alright, it's 8 o'clock, and I'm just rambling now. So, everyone be safe and healthy, and I will see you back next week. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.